Trying to raise a successful family? Well, let your children's inner James Dean just run wild. That's right. Rebellious kids make much more money as adults, rule-breaking in defiance of parental authority. That was the best predictor of which students would make the highest incomes, believe it or not, in a big long-term study. Joining me now, psychologist Dr. Robi Ludwig, also consumer expert and mom, Regina Lewis, is with us. All right, Regina, I mean, what do you make of this? Because they're saying that there's certain traits that the rebellious kids have that as they carry with them as adults actually serve them well.
It bodes well for my 13-year-old, Charles, who I often say is either going to run a company, a country, or be in jail. It's going to go either way. And I think that's actually an important distinction.
These days he can do all three at one point.
because the key thing here is that tenacity, that perseverance is the kind of thing that down the road helps you make it at a startup and have the thick skin, helps you wrestle work to the ground at a big matrix corporation. But you can't burn bridges, right? You still have to get a 360 peer review, and it needs to be positive. So there's a fine line, and I'm sure Dr. Robi can speak to this, between what's a constructive trait and when it backfires and becomes destructive.
Well, I guess, I think there's something to be said for people who have a chip on their shoulder, although I'm not so sure that that's always the bully or rebellious person. I know that there's some fine lines to be drawn here, but it is pretty interesting, and it gets back to the old saying, nice guys finish last. Maybe they do.
Well, I think when you are rebellious with purpose, it certainly can help, because these are people who don't like the status quo, who don't like to be told no. And you know,
isn't that just being a brat?
Well, it could be, but I think it's developmentally normal during adolescence, which is what this study looked at. And there's healthy rebelliousness and there's unhealthy rebelliousness. So healthy rebelliousness is when you are saying to your parent, don't tell me what to do, but they can do it in a way that isn't totally self-destructive. For the kids that are really self-destructive, that's dangerous, and no parent wants to see that. So if you can be a parent that understands your teen is going to rebel and it's not against you, and kind of support their independence, that could be tremendously helpful.
We hear a lot these days, Regina, about forgetting about IQ tests, but there's emotional testing and these other things that seem to have a lot more. Would this be something that somehow a potential employer is trying to define, just enough of a rebellious streak to maybe every now and then upset the apple cart, but be such a game changer that you're worth it?
Yeah, they already do, right? Everyone's looking for resilience because change is inevitable, so can you roll with it? I think along the way is the best coach, the best teacher, pastor, drill sergeant will know how to channel this. So it's actually terrific, but I think so often, because frankly, they're so persistent, they're so tenacious, they're the asker, can I do this, can I do that, why not? That it can drive you crazy. So you have to say, okay, this is actually really positive if we can flip this. So a football coach, for instance, this is the kid they give the ball to on 4th down with a yard to go, and they actually find a way to win. So I think you've just got to recognize it as a positive, and rather than try to temper or change it, channel it.
I got to tell you, I was shocked when I read the report. My son sent it to me, my 18-year-old son. So he was he was trying to give me a message too. Real quick though, before we go, is there? We talked about this line. Now, where should we begin to worry? Say, okay, it's good that little Johnny's got this little bit of a rebellious streak, but it's too much.
Right. Well, if they're doing something dangerous. So if they're drinking and driving, that's not a good sign. But if they are passionate and creative and don't let anything get in their way, then that would bode well for somebody who will be successful in life.
All right, guys. Bad kids, bad behavior, great future. Thanks a lot. Really appreciate it.